National Population Commission to be part of this assembly today. There are other attributes I'm not going to bore this assembly with, but however, the chairman says he wishes to use this opportunity to humbly solicit for support and cooperation of GEOSON and other stakeholders here present, and indeed all Nigerians, to join hands with the Commission for the successful conduct of a 2023 Population and Housing Census. The Population and Housing Census of 2023, which will be digital, will also provide the baseline data needed for planning to ensure sustainable economic growth and the execution of interventions towards improving the quality of all Nigerians. It will interest us to know that the National Enumeration Area Frame that will be used for the 2023 census has geolocation of dwelling places of all households and other geospatial attributes useful for the conduct of the census. It is worthwhile to mention here that the National Population Commission was involved in the development of the draft National Geospatial Data Infrastructure, NGDI, the bill of 2021, which is a requisite legislation in the application of geospatial data. So you cannot use this geospatial data if this bill is not passed, because when you use it, it is illegal. That means serious credence has been given to geospatial science data. The chairman said MPC is open to more collaboration and partnership in all areas. He congratulates GEOSON on their annual General Assembly, and particularly the GISD 2022 program. And he looks forward for a strong, enduring collaboration and partnership between MPC, GEOSON, and all users of geospatial data in Nigeria to further the effort in the use of geospatial data for inclusive economic growth for the overall well-being of Nigerians. He said I should tell you, thank you as he's feeling now that as I'm delivering this message, you are all ready to be counted because you count come 2023. Thank you very much and God bless you. Sorry, I took your time.
Thank you so very much. Please put your hands together for the National Population Commission. Very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we will take more goodwill messages. Just before then, I wish to ask that the cultural display be on standby. Very soon they will be displaying for us, and we'll take just one more goodwill message and we switch to them and come back to the goodwill messages that we have. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the President, GEOSON Sir, and other dignitaries that are here, let's make welcome the Cross River State Surveyor General, Surveyor John Omagu. Please put your hands together as he comes for his goodwill message. You're welcome, sir. Continue clapping.
The able president of GEOSON, all other protocols observe. I will start my message with a very short story. Once upon a time, Edison, the great scientist and inventor, he was working on the light bulb. He was testing about 300 and something metals to see how he can get one that can sustain electricity light. He closed for the day, and a young scientist who was working with him asked him, "Sir, we have tried about 300 different experiments, we have failed. Why don't we just fold up and cancel it? It is an effortless exercise." The good old man Edison laughed at the young man. As they walked out, he told him, "We have achieved abundantly well. We have tried 3 different experiments, we have failed, which therefore means that we will not repeat those same 300 steps again." GEOSON is like Edison walking a tightrope on how to invent a light bulb. GEOSON is a new entrant into the built industry and other professions. It covers surveying, architecture, geology, military intelligence, economics, finances, and so on. Somehow, each of these professional bodies is regulated by a national law, which therefore means that how will GEOSON function without an enabling law which will not infringe on these existing laws that regulate the professional bodies that GEOSON will definitely have to work and cooperate with in order to achieve? I have looked through the agenda and the issues for us to discuss in this conference. I think one key area that it seems missing to me, it is that GEOSON should come up with a platform on how to dialogue and rub minds with the other professional bodies, such as land surveyors, architects, engineers, the military, accountants, and all others, to see how GEOSON can function without much infringing on these existing federal laws regulating these professional bodies. I heard the last speaker say something in that line, that GEOSON needs an enabling act in order that the geospatial information gathered can be applied without rancor and with authority. It is on this light that I, Jonathan, the Surveyor General of Cross River State, welcome GEOSON to Cross River State and look forward to gainful and constructive dialogue with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, our Surveyor General, with a very intimidating voice as that of a Nigerian film actor, looking so much as one of them. Please put your hands together for him. once again. Of course, in the media world, we call him the heroic masculine voice. Very intimidating for a voice over. Thank you, sir. We, at this point, want to ask that the cultural display be on standby. Just before they come up, I wish to invite the DG NASA, Professor Andrew Olufemi Fellow, of course being represented here by Dr. Rekia Bamaji. We will be taking a goodwill message from Dr. Halilu Shaba Fellow. Please, is representing DG NASA. I hope you got that right. Please put your hands together as they walk towards the microphone. NARSTA. They will tell us better what that represents. Continue clapping until he arrives at the microphone. Thank you, sir.
The President, GEOSON, I respect the already established protocol. I'm here on behalf of the Director General, National Space Research and Development Agency, Dr. Halilu Ahmed Shaba, together with other directors of that agency here present, to convey the goodwill of the staff and management of the National Space Research and Development Agency to the board, the Executive Council, the fellows, and distinguished participants at 2022 GEOSON conference taking place here in Calabar, Cross River State. The Director General is grateful also to the local organizers for putting this all-important conference together. The Director General would have been physically here with us, but he's not in the country. We are expecting him. He will join us if possibly. It is important for all of us to know that GEOSON is doing so much, bringing together experts across the nation and even beyond on how we can champion the cause of geoinformation application research in our country, Nigeria. We are saddled with a number of problems, especially in this region that is hosting GEOSON for 2022, the South-South region of the country. Is it the issue of flooding that has ravaged so many states, not only within this region, but all the way from the northern part of the country into the Atlantic Ocean? Is it the issue of ravine degradation that we can see traces of that even within the city of Calabar? Is it the issue of erosion? So many issues. Also extending to security challenges, not only environmental security, but also food security and security of humans, among so many other factors. It is common knowledge that experts aggregated together at the conference will also be looking at things that will provide solutions towards these enormous challenges and problems. Until that is done, the livelihood of our people is threatened. Taking a look at the flooding, it has affected the livelihood. Farmlands are washed away. Settlements are affected. Livestock affected. So many other things. There are instances that physically you may not even be able to access locations that are affected. It is on that note that space technology will come in handy with satellite imageries that can help us to know, especially temporal analysis, what was there before the incidents and what has been damaged after the incidents. By doing that, it will help us to provide solutions. It will also help us to make policies that will guarantee sustainable development. It is on this note that the Director General National Space Research and Development Agency, NASDA, wish to let you know that NASDA has spread across the country centers and laboratories that can be available, that can be collaborated with in order to address a lot of issues. In the South here, we have Advanced Space Technology Applications Laboratory located at the main campus of University of Uyo, Akwa Ibom State. And that is what is done to other regions across the country. I want to thank you most sincerely for creating time to come for this all-important workshop. May I acknowledge in a very special way one of the fathers of these technologies that are here, the fathers of space technology in Nigeria, Professor Akiede, sir, you are welcome. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Well done.
Thank you so very much, and that was coming from the People of Space Organization of our association, as you will want to call them. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Cross River State is a very rich state with cultural display, and of course here we are just to feed your eyes about the things you've been hearing. At this point, let's make welcome the cultural troupe. Thank you. Thank you so very much. Thank you. Together for the cultural group of course you will say. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, if you're clapping, clap better for the dance group. I had some fears when they started a certain session. I had to look at the faces of our guests that came in from the north and the west. When they dragged the president to dance with them, I said, Lord, take control. And I was praying that the Conservator General Cross River State will not be around. And the Lord answered my prayer. When they came close to him, he ran outside. And I'm sure if he was a Christian, he'll be pleading the blood of Jesus. If those children dance with you, there's something about the dance. But thank you for Prof. Put your hands together for Prof, who took them on step to step. And with the suits, he showed them that if he loosened the trouser to wear his girdle, he will do better than them. Please clap for Prof one more time. A jolly good fellow. Thank you so very much, the dance troupe. You guys are on top of your game. While that was going on, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we had a very conspicuous and delectable lady in the very central part of Cross River State. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, she's my friend, a mother to women in Cross River State, a very answering voice of Cross River women, a woman who is ready to carry the load of Cross River State. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, when she comes to event, I get proud that I'll be learning a new thing. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, today, make welcome as she just waves to the crowd, Associate Professor Surveyor Gertrude Nja, FNIS. It's good to see you, ma. Please clap for her better. For her, it doesn't matter how much I'm paid in events, she's always fueling my car. Clap again for her. Cross River people, clap for her. Ishoku Nabi. All right. We'll be running straight. The event is on. While we are still expecting other dignitaries, it's good to remind you that I'll be having some fellowshipping today in the places of Mrs. Rosendong and of course Professor Francis E. Bisong. At this point, okay. Very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, at this point, we have very special dignitaries that came in to be part of this event. Of course, from the Office of the President, GEOSON, Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we want to do a very special thing here today. A citation will be read of our keynote, of our lead paper presenter. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, when the citation lead person comes, she will do a proper introduction. At this point, I'm not in the capacity to read the citation. I wish to make welcome Dr. Tubolayefa Warekomo, Treasurer GEOSON. Please put your hands together for her as she comes up to the microphone. Continue clapping. She's my colleague. Of course, it's time for her to also speak. Continue clapping until she comes up. She's taking the citation of the lead paper presenter. You're welcome.
Good morning, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It is an honor to read the citation of someone I respect and revere so much, Dr. Lola. So allow me to fangirl a little bit. Yeah. So she's someone that, younger geospatial technology professionals like myself look up to. She has set the pace. She's paid the dues. She's doing amazingly well. So I'll just jump to it and stop my fangirling for a minute. So Dr. Dupe Nihilola Olayinka Dosumu, Fellow of Nigerian Institute of Surveyors, also Fellow of the Geospatial Information Society of Nigeria. Dr. Olayinka Dosumu was born in Oyo Town on 3rd August 1971. She attended St. Andrew's Demonstration School between 1976 and 1982. She also attended Bode Thomas Memorial School between 1982 and 1985, and Alafin High School, Oyo, between 1985 and 1987. Dr. Olayinka later attended Olivet Baptist High School, Oyo, between 1987 and 1989 for a higher school certificate, A-level, and later graduated with distinction in higher national diploma, surveying, from Federal School of Surveying, Oyo, in 1995, where she's currently director. She was the Vice President, Students' Union Government, Federal School of Surveying, Oyo. She was the University of Lagos Scholar in 1998, having graduated with first-class honors in surveying from the University of Lagos, making her the first female graduate of surveying with first class from the University of Nigeria, from any university in Nigeria. She also graduated with a distinction in a Master of Science, Surveying and Geoinformatics, with a CGPA, a perfect score of 5.0. Dr. Olayinka Dosumu obtained a doctorate degree from Lancaster University, United Kingdom, with a specialization in environmental modeling under the Schlumberger Foundation, Faculty for the Future for Women in Science and Engineering. She's a recipient of many awards: Best House Captain, Odetayo House, Olivet Baptist High School in 1989, Best Surveying Student in Pre-Final Year, Faculty of Engineering, University of Lagos, Surveyor Craig Award, presented by the Nigerian Institution of Surveyors, 1997, Vice Chancellor's Prize for the Best All-Round Performance at the Degree Level, 1998 National School Fund Prize for the Best All-Round Performance in the faculty at the degree level. In 1998, she got Provost Dean's Prize for the Best Performance in any one subject within a teaching unit. In 1998, she got the Olumide Award for Best Student in Geodesy. In 1998 again, University of Lagos Scholarship Award for Best Student, tagged University Scholar. 1998, and Schlumberger Foundation, Faculty for the Future, Role Model for the Next Generation awardee for 2005 to 2008. At Lancaster University, UK, International Conference of Nigerian Students in Diaspora Icons Award for Performance. Outstanding Achievement and Academic Success from Lancaster University, UK in 2007 by XM Foundation. University of Lagos Alumni Award for Academic Erudition in 2019. Olivet Baptist High School Old Students Award for Academic Excellence in 2019. Dr. Olayinka Dosunmu is an associate professor in the Department of Surveying and Geoinformatics and was once a Faculty of Engineering Examination Officer, acting sub-dean, University of Lagos, and once an adjunct reader in the University of Ilorin. She is a fellow of the Nigerian Institution of Surveyors, fellow of the Geoinformation Society of Nigeria, member Nigerian Environmental Society, member African Association of Remote Sensing and Environment, ASE, member EIS Africa, an associate member of the Institute of Civil Engineers, British Hydrological Society, UK. Dr. Olayinka Dosunmu is a registered surveyor, SOCON 2003. She is the immediate past secretary, Academic Staff Union of Universities, University of Lagos branch, and internal auditor, Nigerian Institution of Surveyors, Lagos branch. Dr. Olayinka Dosunmu has mentored many graduates from University of Lagos, Oyo, and environs, including those from afar. She has over 75 publications as conference, journal, resource papers to her credit, and has attended several conferences both in Nigeria and abroad. She's married to Prince Adekunle Olukayode Dosunmu, and she is mother of two beautiful daughters, Titilayo and Temitayo. She was appointed the first female and indigenous rector of Federal School of Surveying, Oyo, on 3rd December 2018. She loves traveling. The most exciting one is the tour of the Sahara Desert, which lasted for about 1 month. She loves meeting people and has visited 22 countries so far. She loves reading and cooking. And to wrap it all, she's our amazing lead paper presenter. A round of applause and maybe a standing ovation for my mentor, the amazing Dr. Lola Dosunmu. My mentor. I personalized it. My mentor. Please keep clapping till she gets here. No? Ma. Don't worry. Come. Okay. Apparently, they want the amazing presentation to happen in the presence of some dignitaries, so they want you to hold on for a bit. There was a little bit of miscommunication. But I'm honored to do this. Thank you.
Please, kindly sit down, please. Our lead speaker, we are sincerely sorry for this interruption. Please kindly take back to your seat. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the leadership of GEOSON, we want to sincerely apologize and seek your permission to interrupt this program at this moment. We have a very serious challenge in our hand, not really a challenge, but it's something that we just have to do it. Ordinarily, this program, the one we're about to do now, it's supposed to take place on Wednesday. But because of the importance of the personalities and their assignment in the society, sometimes we have to break some protocols to allow things to move better. We have two of our important people that we are presenting the fellowship of this society to them this afternoon because their attention is needed in Abuja. And you know, when you are high at that level, sometimes you don't have the time for yourself. They would decide to call you at any time. I was discussing with my good friend, Professor Inja. I said, why is she coming late? But you know, because she works with the government, she doesn't have time for herself. Just like the same thing with these two people that we are going to present their fellow certificates to them and also making them the fellows of the society as from today because of their relevance, because of their contributions to the society. So please permit me to break the protocol at this moment and also to invite the chairman of the Board of Trustees to join me on this floor and also a member of the Board of Trustees, my mentor, Surveyor S.N. Okonkwo, to come forward to present the award and also the fellowship certificate to these two important personalities in Nigeria. Thank you so much. The first on the list to be admitted into the Board of Fellows of Geoinformation Society is Professor Francis B. Bison. Please, can you come forward, sir? Yes, it's not. I'm not sure whether we have the time to read their citation because we are trying to, the lead speaker is also trying to talk. And so we don't have the time to read their citation. In the program of events, their citations are clearly written there. So we can understand who they are and what the contribution they have made to the society and Nigeria at large. On that note, I will invite the board chairman to present to Professor Francis Ibison. Thank you.
On behalf of the Geoinformation Society of Nigeria, I saw Prof there, and of course, you don't need to put on a spectacle to identify that this must be an honorary fellow who deserves this kind of award. On behalf of GEOSON Nigeria, I'm presenting to you the Fellowship Award of this great society. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
And to go with that is the certificate for this award of Fellow of the Geoinformation Society of Nigeria.
Okay, the certificate reads as follows. Geoinformation Society of Nigeria. Our motto is integration, knowledge, and innovation. This is to attest that Professor Francis Bison, having fulfilled the requirements of the Society's bylaws and in recognition of commitment to the Society's goals and objectives, has been granted the status as Fellow of the Geoinformation Society of Nigeria. Congratulations, sir.
Congrats again. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Please clap for him, please. He is now a full member of Fellow of the Joy Society. The next person is another important person. You will also believe with me that the speakers of this year's conference are all ladies, women. So it is a women affairs. And people were asking me, why did I choose women all alone to speak? I said, this is their season, so let them speak. Thank you so much. Another important person that has contributed so much to the society that we feel that she should be honored in this society to become full member of, full fellow of the society is Rose Ndong. She is a very dramatic woman who has done so much to Geoinformation Society and also to the Nigerian society. Thank you, madam. You are welcome. Thank you for accepting our...
Rose Udong, on behalf of the Geoinformation Society of Nigeria, I want to present this to you and admit you as a fellow of this great society. Congratulations, man.
I will give this to my colleague to read what you have in your certificate.
Once more, I have the honor to read the contents of the certificate given to you this day by the great Geoinformation Society of Nigeria. Our motto, as I read earlier, is integration, knowledge, and innovation. This is to attest that Ms. Rose C. Ndong, having fulfilled the requirements of the Society's bylaws and in recognition of her commitment to the Society's goals and objectives, has been granted the status as Fellow GEOSON. Congratulations, ma'am.
That's right. That's the certificate for that. Congratulations.
Congratulations, madam. Okay, congratulations. Thank you. Having concluded this important assignment, I have the singular honor at this point to invite the lead speaker. Yeah, can come forward. Thank you. Please, can you clap for her? She's coming up. You heard her CV. You heard what they say about her CV. Yeah? So you keep clapping because the CV is intimidating.
Okay, I think I'm tall enough. Good afternoon. The President of GEOSON, the Chairman, Board of Trustees of Geoinformation Society of Nigeria, our own mentor, Professor Akinyete. I would say it's been an honor and a privilege to have known you for the past 19 years. Thanks for keeping the flag flying. To all the fellows of the society, and also our special guests. I'm made to understand, and I want to also recognize all members, the future of Geoinformation Society of Nigeria. When the flyer first came out, I saw Professor D.N. Olayinka Dosunmu, and I was excited. I'm overdue for that, but you don't get the full chair of University of Lagos when you're on leave of absence. And I've been absent for the last 4 years, doing the nation and making the nation proud. Every day of my stay in the Federal School of Surveying, Oyo, is worth every drop, every second of both the blood and my time. And on that note, I want to, the MC asked me to give goodwill message earlier. So let me just say on behalf of the Governing Council of Federal School of Surveying, Oyo, the management, the staff and students, I want to welcome every one of us to this great occasion, the 2022 AGA of the GEOSON. And also to say that we're keeping the flag of geoinformation, science, the technology of it, flying as the first tertiary technical institution in Nigeria, founded in 1908. and awarding postgraduate courses as far back as 1954. I want to say that it's an honor and privilege to be here. I have a 15-page document as the lead paper, as well as with the 2 pages of references. But at length, I'm going to present this lead paper for only 20 minutes. And I won't waste your time, and I won't stay more than that. I want to specially greet my sister, my mom, in the profession, Surveyor Dr. Jethro Unja. Thank you so much for keeping the flag flying. She's a former coordinator, that's my constituency, of women in surveying. And we really appreciate your work, and thanks for being part of this great. I hope Dr. Unja is a member of GEOSON. Okay. We are looking forward to you becoming a fellow very soon. Having said all that, I had an experience in Southampton, UK in 2007. I went to visit one of our Nigerians, the guard being into GIS as far back as 2000 and I think 1999 or so, the retired Jala precisely. And when I got there, I asked him the trend of what they were doing at UK Ordnance Survey in Southampton. And guess what? They were measuring curbs, the height of curbs, the base to the road and the tip. What do we measure for road measurement? You do your longitudinal profiling, cross-section to build roads. But every road in the UK is built. Every road to all villages built. So they don't have much work to do. Then they started measuring height of curbs as far back as 2007. And I asked him, I want to drive, that's the job I'm to do, not to start doing scientific anything here. And I asked him, why curb? With all the things you are, he told me, every inch of UK is mapped. In fact, not only then they started all this 3D mapping, this Google Earth image where you can see your house 3D. You can pick even the car numbers, and girlfriends can monitor boyfriends as to why were you in this house. You know, that bit. And then it's curbs. Do you know why they were measuring curbs height? Because they were about designing brooms, autopilot brooms, to sweep the road. And I looked and I said, God, what have we done wrong? Where are we coming from? And at what point, since 1960 of independence, that was 1960 to date, to 2022. And we still keep on blaming somebody or someone somewhere. When all we could do is to even start. We should have started from that 1960. You know, on our own pace, and see where we could have gotten to. I had a terrible experience in my first year as a PhD student in Lancaster University. And they have one of the best environmental centers one of the best centers in environmental modeling in the UK. And it got to a stage that my supervisor said, Lola, I think you need to change your case study area. And guess what? As at 2010, my PhD was on modeling the Niger Delta flooding. As at 2010, I had over 15 papers on flood modeling, on prediction, what is going to, in fact, I modeled Lokoja. When I saw the display on You know, on here, just this month through last month, I was like, there was a paper that had been online. We modeled using the first set of radar set data. I did my modeling, and we used the radar set to model that of 2012 to validate it. And it was so almost 85% or so correlated. And today, Nigeria set up, I have a set-up committee on flooding and whatever. I want to state here that most of our issues are predictable, preventable, and manageable. And the only means of joining all these things together to make them preventable, to make them predictable, and to make them manageable is geoinformation. That is the platform. And when we talk about geoinformation, I'm happy because I moved away from the core traditional surveying methods as far back as 1998. University of Lagos was the institution in Nigeria to move away from only surveying to surveying and geoinformatics. And yours truly, we started in 1997, and yours truly was the first set of students to undergo that process, and I have not looked back since then. But one thing, the reality, I'm already giving my lead speech. The reality is that the boundaries of disciplines are collapsing. And as Geoinformation Society, we need to understand that. And that is why this society, the Geoinformation Society, is needful and necessary at this particular time. And you need the legal backing to work. I mentioned something about my first year PhD experience when my professor said, I should move my research area from the Niger Delta to somewhere in the UK because they too have flood issues. And I observed three things. In fact, it took me 7 days to scan from text to Excel data set of 1922 from Bonny, this water stages measurement from 1922 to 2000, and I think the last one as at that time was like 2002 or so. And it took me 7 months for about 20 stations, all the way from from Adamawa straight down to the Niger Delta. I was looking at the time lag. If they open Lagdo Dam, what happens downstream? And I have a schematic diagram of that. But do you know the problem we have? The gaps and the disjointed. When I was doing my scanning, because I had to, all those typists, some have been as far back as 727 was reading 121. Some 127. Then when you plot that, covering about 70 years, and you plot it, what do we have? Disjointed, gaps, and what can we do with such data? Yours truly had to sit down to edit 12777 for data spanning over 70 years for me to be able to now isolate those stations that I can work with so that I could model my work. So when this Geoinformation Society, Geospatial Solution for Inclusive Economic Growth, when I saw the invitation and I needed to do the lead paper, then what came to my mind was that of my experience. And that is why I went ahead to put my title as the DAF, the gaps You've already moved from my, I'm still on first page. You don't worry. It's 20 minutes and we meet up. Just go back to my first page, please. The title page. So, and that is what we have. So, in its readiness for an inclusive economic growth. If you look at our team, very beautiful sub-teams that we have under. It covers all. Everything from insecurity to flooding, to disaster risk management. Very well articulated. But so many things are missing. And on that note, I want to sincerely appreciate Surveyor Anio. Cross River State, upon the first state to do the flight, to carry out flights of the whole state. Am I right, sir? Surveyor Anio? The one, even before Lagos State. Now let us go now. The first one. Please be looking at my slides. So I have questions at the end of it all. Let's go. The first one. Next flight. Next slide, please. Okay. That's the outline. Next one. So, look at where we were. 3.6% in Q1 of 2022. But what is happening to our money now? I talked to one of the guys in the oil and gas industry, and it amazes me. What our hydraulic engineers doing, it's sad. It is very disheartening when they claim that some people diverged, they link up pipes and they were siphoning oil. Simple sensor. We're deceiving ourselves, in this. I'm even tired of writing, and we need to be practical. What happened to multiple input, single output? What happened to just simple control system analysis? It's a shame on our engineers. And that is the reason why they have to be part of this. It's very simple. Single input, single output. We call it balance of equation. Sorry. That's the backbone of predictions. If you want to predict, you have to balance it first. And then you change scenarios and you'll be able to say, this is what happened if this is the scenario. How can somebody say they didn't know? Did they know what the inflow was? And then somebody siphoned along the way. Then what is your own outflow at the other end? It's simple maths. Your input must be equal to output. And if it is not, there must be a constant in between. It's linear. Sorry, I'm going a bit into mathematics. It's very simple. And that is why we want to commend Saudi Arabia. Every single drop. So if you have add geoinformation to your control system analysis in oil and gas, before you know it, you can, it's maths. We have 200 cubic meters today, and what we have, or barrels, or whichever one they want to use, at the other side. But do we have the record? No. Even when we have, are we honest to even declare what we produce per day? So it's about attitude. It's about being honest. It's about being practical. Let's go. Let's go. Please just leave the, let's go. Let's go. Yeah. Geospatial industry to the rescue. And that captures to the rescue. How do we first close this dive? How many percentage of Nigerian system or land had been mapped? We all rely, please look at how disjointed I'm presenting. It's intentional. The main voter mosaic that we have for this country was produced between 1967 and 1969. Don't they? 67, 69. That is what we have as our base map in the whole country. Go and find out. In fact, at the last national budget defense at the Senate, sorry, I said chairman because he's the chairman of my governing council, Surveyor General of the Federation said it, and that is it. The first flight mission to cover the whole country was done between 1967 and 1969. And then we all go to Google, and we believe Google Map is what we need. It's a lie. Go today to what you have is a disjointed, but they try to mosaic it. Unfortunately for us, it was not meant for Nigeria. It was meant for their weather, for their cloud in United States of America. But we are lucky to have access to some of this. Now, what does it take? I try to do the analysis of what it will take for us as a nation to fly the whole country. GeoEye imagery also was bought for over 2 billion naira. And they claim it covers the whole country. You see, I'm just saying it off the record. A few years back, how many years would it take to process a scene of that for Niger Delta, for Calabar, where you have almost everywhere covered by cloud? And that is what we bought. As at that time, if Nigeria had acquired just space, craft, and each state, with the support of each state, map, Lagos State spent 3 billion. I was trying to compare, the flight planning, everything for the whole country. And then look at what is going to, when Cross River, I think you spent about 1 billion that time. How much, sir? I'm from the Justice Mouth. I know he was involved. That was which year, sir? 2001. I was doing my MSc, so I knew under his partner. So I knew about it. Now, 250 million in 2001. How much is it now? Combine that with that of the Lagos State. Let's add, I think later, FCT also with Swedish company. Everybody, what do we have now? You see where I'm going to? Disjointed data. Why can't we pull that resources together at that national level and then get the whole states, every inch of this country mapped? And alternatively, NASDAQ is there. From the space. We map from the space. Or in collaboration with other space agencies. Let us have it. We don't need to waste money. But people make money, by all these we want to use, and before you know it, we keep on wasting our precious resources. That is what I meant by our attitude. So how do you now relate the survey done by Lagos State with that of Calabar, with that of FCT? This is my 32nd year in the field of surveying, and I would say about 23 in geoinformatics. By the time we look at this, but you see, the solution, if we really want to, our national geodetic infrastructure must be what? Must be functional. We have the policy, and on that I want to give a special recognition to Professor Olubodun Ayeni. That was my MSc supervisor, Professor Jide Kufoni, and Professor Akinyede and all of them. It was a fight of over 20 years to make sure that Nigeria has the data, the clearing port. So that when I do my survey in Oyo, I can send it to the clearing port. But if you are not part of my survey, you did not pay for it, how do I give it back to you? Do you understand me? If as a private entity, I put in my money to do the mapping, to get the geodata, to get everything, at the end of the day, what happens? Have you approached NIMET that you need data? We saw air. You know, I can't model flooding without the data. You cannot model erosion without having data on rainfall. Please approach them on research. I'm saying it openly and see what you have. Even NASDAQ, that you need data. But if every project funded by government is logged at the one single database entity, that is the National Spatial Data Infrastructure, then this problem will be solved. Because you discover that at the end of the day, every penny spent is also coming from this same federal government. Now, please, can we go to that SDI? Because I look at all the titles, everything is fine, people will present well, and after this presentation, what happens? They are back to the shelf. Nobody's making use of that. But if we all deposit everything at the right place, there won't be repetition. Yeah, we are moved away. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. The guys have handled that. Yes. Very briefly, these are the goals. We have it there. I just picked about 4 of the goals of SDI. Next one. So, data sharing, issues of funding, and standardization. And that is why, you know, surveyors have that surveying background. We look for accuracy. And somebody was asking me the other day, which accuracy are you people looking for? That I can just take my, 100 GPS or 5 meters and I've got in. And I said, there's something in mathematics or numerical modeling that we call propagation of error. Any point, when you are point A or point B, it's what? It's a straight line. So a straight line can be towards east, north, or west. But there must be something that you will use to, in a layman's balance, adjust, I don't want to say orientation scale and all that, adjust what you have in paper, your image, to what is actually on ground. If those points, they are wrong, if those points are in error of 0.5, let me say centimeter, when it's close, you won't appreciate it. By the time you are now covering spaces of 1 kilometer, 10 kilometers, then the error is so wide. And we all know in Lagos, for example, that a mistake of 5 meters into another person's plot in Lekki Aja will lead to blood and blood battles within the people. So let's go. I want to conclude. Just let us look at it. Down, down. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Yeah, I've mentioned this for all and when the issue of insecurity first started, the Boko Haram, the Chibok girls and all that, the first thing I did was to go on Google. And I look at the whole of that, Zambeza forest. And I was amazed that Nigerian army, the army, that strong army that fought at Ekobok, dismantled the whole of Sierra Leone, settled their war, cannot enter Zambezi forest. And then what is the extent of Zambezi forest? You know, so thank God later Osgood decided to do the forest mapping and all that. That was after how many lives are lost. We could have prevented that if you don't before that Boko Haram insurgency, if every point, every part, every footpath, every road within that forest has been mapped previously, it will be easy to navigate and then to move through all those areas. But are we sincere? Are we sincere? That is where the problem, our attitude. I've stayed by 3 minutes over. So in conclusion, and I would like to read that. I want to conclude by saying, and I will read that for an inclusive economic growth that involves all and sundry across all strata, and when I mean all strata, referring to